It's the Benz Brunani womanist. Baby boys, baby girls, you need to hear this. If you sit down, receive this realness. Make sure your cup's ready for the tea, we are go sip it, yo. Hard times calling for your long shorts. You might learn something you never know. Kelechi fine, and she's one of a kind. Don't say you're mine, say you're mine.
Yes, I wanna be the only one, the only one. I wanna be the only one, the only one. That was such a tune. I miss Eternal. Was Louise Redknapp part of Eternal? I think she was, wasn't she? Yeah, I think she was. Well, anyway, you're probably like, what? I haven't had like a full length song in a while. I haven't given the girlies, you know, the baby people them, a song in a while, but I haven't felt inspired. I need to like remix one of the songs, or maybe, no, that's too much work. Every year I say I'm going to do it. Like we'll have an episode that is just all of my Kelechi mixes, all of the songs that I've remixed, but the time to sit there and go through each one is absolutely long. So won't be doing that. Anyway, welcome. It's me, Kelechi, the baby girl in the place to be. And you are listening / watching SYM, officially known as Say Your Mind, unofficially known as what? That's right, suck your mum. And I'm back for another week. Sorry that the video version or the visuals for this last week's episode with Dapper, they came out a bit later because our baby boy is away right now. So he had to wait till he had Wi-Fi to edit and then get the video up for you all. But I know that you enjoyed it because so many of you, bloody hell, wanted to see what Dapper looked like because you really liked his voice. I love that for you. And then you saw, and you know what? That's one thing definitely that I have to give my mum. My bloody hell, we've got great genes. I'm not even trying to gas up the ting because I'm a bit of a cutie when people aren't telling me that my eyes are lopsided. It's funny being a woman online, honestly. Like people would just say random things to you. When I had my old picture up, where I'm wearing like that pinky sort of like blush coloured dress or that coral dress, and somebody was just like, get your saggy boobs out of my face. Yo, I screamed because I love insults anyway. So when I read things like that, it makes me laugh. I feel like one time I said something about Alicia Keys, just about the fact that she was like, oh, I'm not going to wear makeup. And then she comes out with a makeup range. And one of her stans, I guess one of the 5, said, not you with your asymmetric braided bob. I could not stop laughing because I love a good insult, and the more unhinged the better. So I was having a time. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I'm glad you've now seen Dapper. Those who haven't watched, you can go and watch the episode on YouTube. I think this episode will be out on Tuesday at 5:55. As per in terms of the visuals. And yeah, you've got the audio version of this. I've been trying to figure out the logistics of how I do a private podcast audio. Do you get what I mean? Because from February, you know that there'll be a new show, and that show will be shorter, cute, and the visuals will be behind the paywall on my website, KelechiOkafor.com. I've still got to sort that. I'm still, working at it, but now I've got the pictures. I just need to sort out the logo. There is so much for me to do, Lord. Why me? Just one person. Anyway, so, yes. So, obviously, there are people who prefer to listen to the audio of these things while they're out on road doing their thing. So what I think I'm going to do, what was suggested to me, was to do, go back to SoundCloud, because I still post actually these episodes on SoundCloud, but to create a private link on SoundCloud that you can only access. It's this whole thing with like private RSS feeds, but I've just got to figure it out. I've just got to sit down and be like, Kelechi, do not move from this spot until you've worked everything out. And I know it probably won't even take me long to work out, because I know that now Spotify, for instance, allows you to have private RSS feeds for like your podcast. But I think that they're doing that in collaboration with Patreon, or I have to like put the episode on Anchor or something. I hate technology. I just need to say that. I need to get that off my chest. As much as I love technology and I write my little sci-fi stories, I need you to know that I hate it. I think I hate it when I have so much responsibilities to kind of like sort things, but I'll figure it out. I always figure things out. Like even the miracle of how I even get all of this done in terms of like recording the episodes. It's fantaradical, truly, deeply, honestly. So I'm just talking you through the real-time logistics as I work it out. But I think that during the Christmas break, like I said a few weeks ago, I'll sit down, get it sorted. You won't. The thing is, I'm having this meltdown, but you actually won't experience any of it. By the time I've sort of like sorted it, you won't even like, your experience is going to be seamless. Inshallah, it's me getting it sorted on the other end, which I will do, because a baby girl never carries last, you know? I always get there in the end. So I'm going to be dealing with that. But yeah, just figuring out the logistics for those who would prefer to have audio, and then those who would want to see the visuals of the new show, how I can make all of that happen on my website and not kind of have it anywhere else that I don't want it to be. Oh, God. I'm not trying to I always say that. I feel like that's how I jinx these episodes. I say I'm not trying to be here for too long, and then before you know it, I've been here for 15 million years. But I'm really not trying to be here for too long. I've come to record the episode after going to Brazilian jiu-jitsu class. I'm so proud of myself. I'm just so proud of myself. Let's start there. I'm so proud of myself because anybody who knows me deeply, like intimately, like in my inner circle, I'm a very shy person. Like I've said this before on numerous episodes, I'm a rather shy person. So when I have to do things that it requires me to like be in situations where I don't know anyone, I feel kind of like, oh, you know, vulnerable, I always get very, very nervous. And so, but every time I've taken myself to like a new Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym or dojo to go and like learn, and I decided, you know, when I went to one of the tournaments over the Brazilian jiu-jitsu tournament over the summer, I watched this particular school, new school, BJJ, Brixton. I watched them competing, some of the students from there competing, and they were so good. And I thought, you know what, when I have time, I feel like that's the dojo or the gym that I want to kind of, or the school that I want to sign up to basically, to go and learn jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I was meant to start last week, but then I was recording with Dapo, the episode, this podcast. So the timing was just too tight. So then I decided I was going to go this week, and yeah, really nervous about it. But, you know, I've got my gi, I've got all of my things, and I just thought, you've got to throw yourself into it. You've got to feel the nerves and do it anyway. Because, you know, Brazilian jiu-jitsu is so intimate in the sense that like somebody's crotch is essentially in your face a lot of the time, their armpit over your eyeballs or your mouth, all of it. Like you are close as fuck all of the time. And as somebody that doesn't even like people being that physically close to me, like it's very odd that this is the sport that I said, yeah, boom, this is the sport I want to do. And so I just want to commit myself to it, be in a black owned space, you know, because I've gone to 2 different Brazilian jiu-jitsu schools over the years, and I'm still here as a white belt. You know, at some point you have to sit yourself down and be like, Kelechi, what the fuck are you doing? But in my defense, I started Brazilian jiu-jitsu as a way to kind of work through the grief of my pregnancy loss. So I started, and then soon after I became pregnant with Lev. So then I'm out for a lot of the time. And then we went into lockdown. We come out of lockdown. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me try a school that's nearer to me. And so I start going to Carpe Diem and start going there. But then things start picking up for me, you know, work-wise, career-wise. So I'm not able to go as regularly as I would like. And also childcare and all of those things. And life was just lifing. And then I've got to write a book. So I wasn't able to kind of give it everything. And the thing with jiu-jitsu is you can't half-ass it. You can't like, oh, I'll do 1 class a week and I'll improve. You absolutely really won't, you know? So I know that I need to dedicate at least 2 to 3 dedicate myself to at least 2 to 3 classes a week. So I looked at my Sunday. Sunday's the day that I used to record the podcast. I thought to myself, well, if I go to a class on a Sunday afternoon, when I finish there, come straight here, record, it's a thing. Or record in the morning and then go to jiu-jitsu. It can work either way. And then find 2 times to go in the week, which shouldn't be difficult, So, I'm just glad to be back. I'm glad to be back. And I really like, so far, I've only had 1 class, but I really like this particular teacher, Reese. So he's the one that runs, the gym, runs the school, runs the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school. And I remember watching him because he was competing in the tournament that I went to over the summer. And I remember watching him and just noticing how, not nervous he was. If you were watching him compete, you almost think what the fuck is going on here? Because he doesn't seem to be doing much. And then next thing you know, the opponent is in a chokehold and he's won the match. Reese has won the match. So I just thought that's the kind of person I want to learn from. Where it's so unassuming. It's almost like what came to my mind when I was watching him was like a really deadly snake, where they're just moving so slowly, but they're constricting you, and you don't realize until you have no breath left. That is amazing to me. Teach me your ways. So lo and behold, when I went to the class today, it was very much come on, you, I haven't trained jiu-jitsu in so long that my stamina was in the gutter. Let me tell you, my stamina was, girl, stand up. That's all I was saying to myself in my head. Because after you've run the drills, can you do my drills? Can you do my technical drills? Oh, that's another song. I have to make that one. Anyway, so you do all of the drills and then you have specific sparring. So you have, you have tangibles that you need to kind of hit when you are sparring, as opposed to just doing whatever you want. And I was just so relaxed. I was just too lax. The 2 women that I ended up sparring with or rolling with, they are much smaller than I am. Yet, come and see your girl. I was just there looking like a looker. And he was like, come on, don't be so relaxed. Do stuff, fight back. Girl, stand up, So eventually I was just like, okay, cool, I can do this. And then I started doing my thing. It's I started remembering again, muscle memory. And I was able to kind of give stuff. But technically, I wasn't, the technical aspect of it was still losing me, because I was basically giving up before the person had even passed my guard. This will mean nothing to you if you don't do jiu-jitsu, but I was basically giving up too early. I was like, oh, well, they've already won then. He was like, no, they absolutely haven't. You have to keep going. So yeah, I think that's a lesson for life. But I'm really glad to be back, focused on something. I've had a lot of restless energy and really irritable energy over the past few days, and I'm glad I went, because it helped me to move that energy through me, move it out of me. And it was really, really good. So I'm looking forward to developing. I've got to be careful because I've only just had my hands tattooed last week, and obviously jiu-jitsu is so handsy, so handsy, so I've got to be careful, while my hand is healing. But yeah, I had a great time. I finished there. Then I thought, well, I'm already in Brixton, so I might as well go and get myself some food from Fish Wings and Ting. I love that place. So I went to go and get some food from there. I haven't eaten it yet. It's just looking at me, which is another reason why I want to record this podcast, so I can actually eat for the first time today. Probably that's also why I was on the ropes. I don't tend to eat nowadays until the sun goes down. So yeah, I felt it. So yeah, got some food from Fish Wings and Ting, and then headed over here to record this for you, my baby people, my darlings, my loves, unless you're hate listening, in which case die, bitch. Anyway, sorry about that outburst. What else? Well, I went to, so big up New School BJJ. in Brixton. I pray that I can stick it out this time and stop being a white belt at some point in my life. Doing all right with guitar. I played a song for y'all on my Instagram page the other week. Thank you all so much for being so supportive, because it was taking me 17,000 years to switch between chords, but you were also lovely and you told me that I have the voice of an angel. No, you didn't say that, but I'm saying that that's what you said. Okay, maybe the angel that was thrown out of heaven, but I love that for me. So I'll continue to learn chords and continue to play songs. My ideal, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about more children. I mean, I have the children's home, so I'll be responsible for, other children. But I feel like in terms of me birthing other children, I don't know. But the one thing that would encourage me if I were to have any more children would be that I want one day for myself and my children to form a band. I'd want us to be a band. So I'm playing the guitar and then somebody's on the drums but this is the thing. I feel like I've got main character syndrome, because I want to play the guitar and I also want to be the lead singer, and I don't know how that's going to work. So we'll see. I don't know what the name of my band would be with my family. Not the Benzies. No, not the Benzies. I'll think about a name. But yeah. And imagine you're bringing children into the world just because you want to form a band. Kelechi, get a fucking grip. Yeah. But aside from that, what else have I been up to? Saturday evening is the best way to phrase it. Saturday, I was in my yard all day. I'm really relishing that Saturday is like my day off now. For now. Well, it was technically not a day off because I still had to have a staff meeting with my people, the teachers and everybody, quarterly staff meeting for the pole studio. But anyway, Saturday I was just inside. Why? Because I was trying to finish my novel. Guys, baby people, your baby girl has finished her novel. I finished this novel. Congratulate me. Please congratulate me, because I felt at certain points like I was losing my mind, in the sense that I know what I want to write, but I just couldn't sit down to write it. The moment Mercury went retrograde, while other people are talking about, oh my God, Mercury's in microbraids again, rare. For some reason, especially since it went retrograde in Capricorn, which is my 10th house of career and vocation, and retrogrades are really about revisiting a particular theme. Whenever a planet goes retrograde, it's asking you to rewind selector, revisit a particular theme in your life, depending on which house it falls into and what that house rules or means for you. So mine being, my 10th house of, public facing roles, my vocation, my career, meant that this writing stuff is a part of my career, innit? So I was just finally able to sit down and do what needed to be done. And I'm super proud of myself to just be able to write the end. Now, that's a technicality, because what I'm now doing is going back over what I've written and then filling in the gaping holes. Sorry. I couldn't resist. I had to say that. But no, I'm going through it and filling in the plot holes. So tying things in, making things smoother. Now, the thing is, I'm still going to do all of this and I'm going to send it to my editor, and there'll still, of course, be notes. There will always be notes, right? And then I'm going to go through the process of receiving the note and believing that everybody hates me for 2 hours. And then I'm going to get on with whatever the notes are in terms of fleshing out what is necessary to develop the story further, because, that's the whole reason for the process, in order to give you all the best story possible come 2025. But I'm so, so proud of myself. A novel, I didn't know I had it in me. Well, yeah, I mean, I know I wrote the short story collection, but a novel, yeah, that's something. I've got another deadline for another novel, FYI. And after that, I'm going back to short story collections. Why? Because I really, really enjoy it. And I've got the absolute sickest idea for another short story collection. And I really want to be able to pull it off. So I don't know. There's so much. There's so much I want to do, because I've seen a master's course that it starts next year, October. And I feel like I might want to do my master's finally. I feel like I might want to do it. 2 years, full time. I feel like I want to do it. But let's see. Especially because what I want to do it in, like what my master's will be in or on, whatever the case may be, or what my master's will be about. Look at my life. You say you are a writer. You don't know grammar. Anyway, it's such an amazing subject, and it suits me so perfectly at this stage that I'm at in my life, that I just think I'll be brilliant at it, and I might be one of the only black people in the world to be doing it. So we'll see. We'll see if I can do that, if I can pull it off. You know, in another world, I'm meeting all of these deadlines, doing all my edits, and then doing nothing for a minute, because I also wanted to do a collection of essays. This is the thing, like, my mind is a very interesting place. Like, it just wants to go in so many different directions, but I think I need to prioritize rest. Once I meet all my deadlines, I need to prioritize rest, because it's just a lot. Sometimes I can even say it's almost too much. You know, I was laughing the other day when, you know, like we make all of those jokes on social media where like we say, oh God, in 2024, do not put me on your list of your strongest soldiers. I don't want the hardest battles. I don't want to know. And then I watched something where they were like, what if God was actually giving you the easiest battles? Like, imagine they're like, I don't want to be your strongest soldier anymore. And God's like, girl, you're nowhere near. I'm giving you the absolute easiest shit that I've got. What is going on? But yeah, I don't know. So congratulate me. I really did it. I've finished this novel. And I just need to go and flesh out some bits in between just to give it more body. And I'll take some time with it. But I'm so excited. I keep thinking about it. That's when I know that I'm in a sweet spot with a story, when I just keep thinking about it. And I'm like, ooh, see, maybe expand the timeline between this happening and this happening. Just go in and just fill that in a bit, and just, allow more space, allow more breathing room for the character. Like, oh, it's just so fucking sexy. It's so fucking sexy. Can't help it. But yeah. And I don't have as many sex scenes in it this time round, but we'll see what happens. Because there isn't time for sex really, because so much else is happening. But yeah, we'll figure it out. So 2 slaps on my chest for finishing this novel, knowing full well that I've got another imminent deadline in the new year, and I'll be back on that carousel, or that roller coaster of emotions once again. Yeah, is that everything? No. So that's why I was telling the story. So when I was getting close to finishing the novel on Saturday, I messaged Richie. I feel like Richie's one of my soulmates, definitely. I messaged Richie and I was like, what you doing? Nothing. What you doing? Nothing. Should we go and do something? Oh, you can come round, or you can come round. Oh, well, let's be outside. Okay, let's go and be outside. And so I hadn't had a chance to visit Octave. Octave is a restaurant opened by Cyan Anderson. Cyan Anderson, you would know her as a baby girl, radio DJ, wonderful, radio personality. She's just great. And I've been on her One Extra show before. And she has these events called Girls Talk or Girl Talk. And I've, been a panelist for one of those as well, or a couple of those actually as well. So yeah, once I saw that she opened the restaurant, I really, really wanted to visit. It's in Stoke Newington, I believe. I really wanted to visit, but like I was busy. And so I said to Richie, maybe we should go there. And then I looked and it said booked until March 2024. But we were lucky. She was like, well, we're taking a couple of walk-ins, so you'll be fine. Went in. So it's all you can eat, but like Caribbean with a little smidgen of like Nigerian flair as well, like in terms of the cuisine. So it's all you can eat. You get 3 rounds, I believe, 3 rounds of, because you've got a 2-hour slot. And we really thought, Richie and I really thought that we would make it to the 3rd round. We were out by the 2nd. Like, we were so full by the 2nd round based on all of the things that we chose. My favorite is their oxtail. The prawns are really nice. The mac and cheese slaps. What else did I really like? Like, all of the food is good. I'm just telling you my personal favorites. And then let me be honest, I had a rum punch. So it's a miracle. That's probably also why my ass was handed to me in jiu-jitsu today, because I was drinking, and I haven't been drinking for a while now, but I was like, oh, I'm going to have some rum punch, and I fucked myself when it got to BJJ today. So continuing to stay away from alcohol, my God. But yeah, we had a good time. SYM Anderson, such a wonderful, wonderful venture. So if you want to, visit, go and check it out. There's no availability from what I've heard until March 2024. But they do take a few walk-ins here and there. So try your luck. It's a great place to go on a date, go and eat something cute. I mean, it's a great place to go on a date unless you know that you can eat your food in peace. This was sometimes going on dates and going to dinner or lunches for dates are really annoying, because it's like, if you weren't here, I'm going to pick up this oxtail bone and I'm going to suck on it. I'm going to suck on this oxtail bone and I might chew it. So I don't know. I don't want to advise you. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything. Like, don't listen to me. But if you want to just go and eat with your brethren, like, go through. We had a great time. So that's Octaves in Stoke Newington by SYM Anderson. So yeah, that was good. Maybe I should just get into I think I've updated you enough now. Yeah, I think I've covered. Oh no, sorry. One more thing. I went to go and watch Dreaming and Drowning at the Bush Theatre. Why did I go and watch? Because my baby boy, Tien Simon, I say that he's my chosen brother. He's my chosen baby brother. So I've got 2 brothers, Dapo and Sadiq. But Tien, after directing him in a short play a few years ago, ever since then, he's been like my adopted little brother. He's so wonderful, so talented. And he's in this one-man show called Dreaming and Drowning at the Bush Theatre. It's phenomenal. I felt like the proudest big sister. I know he's got his siblings, but I felt like the proudest big sister. So he's so amazing in it. He's so amazing. Like, his accents, like, a one-man show is a fucking huge task. And he executes it so incredibly. So it says here, Dreaming and Drowning, written and directed by Kwame Owusu. A Bush Theatre production in association with WOLAB. Malachi's been looking forward to a fresh start at uni for months. He's settling in, he's got a stack of books to read, and he's met someone new, Kojo, a musician with a megawatt smile who's basically perfect, but something doesn't feel right. He keeps having the same nightmare, sinking, crushed by the weight of the ocean, and it's getting worse. A beast grows in the water, hungry, relentless, hunting him, but always just out of sight. As the boundaries between nightmare and reality fracture, Malachi must fight harder than ever to stay afloat. Dreaming and Drowning is an intimate and visceral deep dive into the boundless mind of a young black queer man wrestling with anxiety. This electrifying world premiere of the Mustafa Matura award-winning play is written and directed by Kwame Owusu and performed by Tien Simon. He's also in Grime Kids. Tien, my baby boy, is also in Grime Kids. I'm so proud of him. I watched him in The Brother Size and he was great then too. Like, he's just everything to me. Love him so much. So the play is on until, I want to say, what is it? It's until the 5th of January. It's until the 5th of January, I believe. Yeah, so if you can catch it, please do. Show Tien a lot of love. He's everything. And to me, it was just brilliant because, and they've gotten good reviews across the board from like the newspapers and stuff as well. To me, it's just brilliant because I haven't seen such a depiction of anxiety before. It was so spot on. So big up to Kwame for writing that. It's fantastic. The crew that worked on it in terms of the set design, sound design, beautiful work. All of you, fantastic stuff. And just, the artistic direction for Bush Theatre as a whole. I keep going there and watching things that excite me. They really, really excite me about the landscape of the theatre world going forward. It's looking really LT. It's looking really good. So if you can catch Dreaming and Drowning, please do support my baby boy, Tien. Yes. So apart from that, what else? Oh, I might as well just move on to Share Your Magnificence then. That was technically part of Share Your Magnificence. No, I've put things in the wrong order. Ignore me. Now it's tarot. It's the tarot. Sorry. Here we go for the tarot. Dearest Kelechi, Wonder Woman and Spirit Being Superstar, big thanks to you for being with us on this incarnation of Earth and opening and keeping open that throat chakra. Thank you. This is one of the hardest things for me to do, so you giveth inspiration with every word you speak. Now, down to it. I'll try and be quick and clear. Issue area, romantic relationships. Issue at hand, they don't like me. I love how succinct you are. For wider context, trigger warning, domestic violence and baby loss. I was in a mentally and physically abusive relationship in my early 20s, which culminated in an ending in which my life was threatened. Following this, I found out I was pregnant and didn't feel able to go forward with the pregnancy due to the felt risk to both our lives. I spent most of my 20s highly functioning on the outside, but not really there. It's only the last 5 years through self-work and shed loads of therapy, I feel fully recovered and myself again. I have tarot readings at least once a year, religiously, as I like a reflective pause and additional readings if something arises and I feel I need support on. I also read for myself and others and spent much of lockdown cultivating my ancestral relationships. I know spirit is fickle and there is truly no concept of time, but since 2018, every single reader, I've gone to a variation of readers, some multiple times, has said, your husband is literally around the corner. You'll meet in the next few months from reading, have a quick courtship and marry within a few years. In the time since 2018, I've met about 6 different men. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yuck. Sorry. Each a closer manifestation of what I feel would be a compatible partner for me, but not one of these relationships goes past the 3-month mark. I couldn't even get a treat me like shit situationship out of these connections. Therefore, at this point, I feel spirit and my ancestors are trolling me. Which is making me lose trust in all that I've built with them. Tupac Do For Love has come on shuffle whilst writing this. Trolls. My ancestors shared self-healing isn't what is holding me back. It's timing. And spirit's like, chill, he's round the corner. But after nearly a decade single since my relationship ending in my early 20s, this corner feels incredibly long, cruel, and at this point pointless to hold hope in. I guess the question is, or are, take which resonates best, is romantic love not for me in this lifetime? If so, I'd like permission to stop trying. If it is, why so many failures / what am I not learning? I'm not even going to ask about timing, but maybe the astrology shows something the spirit and ancestors don't. I've attached my birth chart for wider context. You can probably tell from the sentence structuring and bullet points above that the Virgo rising wants their presence to be known. Yep. Sorry, this was actually very long, a comedic read nonetheless, I hope. Love, blessings and magic upon your head top. From Anon. Keep me Anon. Okay, I shall. Forgot the birth chart. Here we go. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm trying to see that 7th house, baby. So yeah, your so your 7th house, obviously if you're Virgo rising, your 7th house is Pisces, ruled by Neptune. Neptune is in Capricorn in your chart in your 5th house. So you know that we've got Saturn in Pisces currently, right? So I'm going to be, it's going to sound so dickheaded, right? But I do feel, stay with me here, I do feel like when Saturn comes out of Pisces, we're talking about tropical astrology here, you're likely to then be like, okay, and with someone like, you sent this a while back, so I wouldn't even be surprised that if at the time of me reading this, you are actually seeing somebody now. You sent this in July. So I wouldn't be surprised if by the time of me reading this, you are actually maybe dating somebody now and seeing how it goes. But even if that's not the case, I feel like when Saturn, because Neptune's also in Pisces currently as well, so that would mean that your 7th house has felt very hazy, almost dreamlike, like it feels like you can't root anything to the ground, like you can't lock anything in or lock anything down. And that is part of the process. I feel like what would serve you in these relationships is to, because you're there being a Virgo rising. What's your sun? One second. Taurus, if I'm correct. Just looking. No, sorry, my bad. What are you? Sun, Aries. And you've got your moon in Taurus. Okay, cool. I'm seeing how it's split up now. Placidus. So, yeah, you've got your sun in Aries and your moon in Taurus. So, and you've got Venus in Aries as well. So it can feel like, what? Hold on. I was looking at Mercury in Aries, and then your Venus is in Gemini. It can feel like I feel like everything about you wants to move quickly. Or not everything about you, but there's so many aspects, because with that sun in Aries, you just want to move quickly. You want to get to the thing. You want to get to the good part. But and because of that sun in Aries, and you've got the Mercury in Aries as well, I see that there is like fire there. But then your moon in Taurus, you like opulence. You're a bit stubborn. But you really like to give to the dynamics that you're in. So it can feel, I feel like it can feel overwhelming when one part of you wants to rush ahead. And then there's another part of you that's like, wait, let's slow down. Let's slow down. What we need is to slow down. But I really feel like that 7th house, Pisces, it's kind of holding you a bit. But I like I said, I feel like when you, I do feel like when you, and that's all happening in your 9th house as well. Sun, moon, but your Venus is in 10th. You're likely to, I would feel like you're likely to meet someone through work. So I don't know what you work in or at, but that's the vibe that I'm getting when I'm reading it. But I feel like it'll probably be after, yeah, I feel like we've got like another like 2 years. And I totally hear you on that corner thing, because I've had like divinations before, like my kind of most, before meeting Lev's dad, basically. I remember a divination. I was seeing somebody else at the time. I was dating somebody, and I was just like, oh, I like this relationship. This is cool. I mean, I said I like this relationship, to be honest. It's one of those things, isn't it? Like when I look back on it now, what did I even like about the relationship? There wasn't much to like about the relationship. I just liked what I was bringing to the relationship. And I was talking to a friend about this recently, that sometimes we don't look, especially as women, we don't look at dynamics honestly enough. We're like, oh, I just like them. I just like our connection. Okay, but what about them? What is it about them as a person that is appealing to you? Are they even a nice or good person? And then when you get somebody to sit down and really, really think about that, when we really sit down and think about that, most times you'll find that there's nothing extraordinary, fantastic, above mediocre about a lot of these people. But you've chosen them as a character in this dreamscape that you are creating in your mind of like the romance or the theme of the romance that you want to experience at that time. So they're just being cast in something, whether they actually can play the role or not. And when you really, really look at it, you're like, no, I'm actually the one bringing a lot of the magic to this dynamic. They haven't given you much. They haven't actually given you much to work with. inconsistent messaging, don't really call like that, like when you speak it's so fleeting, it's so quick, like nothing is really set. You're paying for, that's the wickedest, you're paying for a lot of the dinners, for the, you know, theater, you're the one coming out of pocket, you're the one investing, like, have you read this, have you learned this, have you done this, you're the one putting so much into the thing. But because you've decided that this is the kind of romance you're going to have in your head, you've just kind of taken them along for the ride. But when you really sit down and think about it, there was nothing substantial that they were bringing to you anyway. And that, when you can be realistic with yourself in that way, it allows you to step back from a lot of dynamics properly and be like, no. Looking at what people are actually bringing to you. Are they pouring into you, or are they just happy to take and be like, oh, well, the circumstances of my life currently means that I don't have much to give, but they'll be out here. They'll be out here in many, many different ways, just not pouring into you. So you have to like really be realistic and take the rose tinted glasses off and look at whether somebody's actually bringing something to a dynamic or not. And I'm saying that because you've got that Pisces 7th house where you're not maybe seeing people as they are. And so I was saying all of that because they were like, when I was seeing that particular guy, I remember this divination came through and they were like, the person that you're with is not the person for you. They're not the person for you, but the person that you will be with for a while, or your person, however they phrased it, is round the corner. They used that phrase, round the corner. And I was devastated because I was just like, no, like, but they're so cool, but this, that. But when I look back on it, like I said to you, there was nothing about it. There was nothing really about that dynamic really at all. If anything, what they were useful for was that we were joking around, laughing one day, and they made the comparison with Kelechi, and that is what I kept. And now I'm here with that title, Kelechi, but it was through a joke that landed. So even, I guess, even in the most kind of like, meh sort of dynamics, there are, you know, breadcrumbs left along the way that lead you to where you need to be. Right. And that's very different from breadcrumbing, which a lot of people tend to do. Like they're taught through like their dating books or self-help books, whatever they read, that, you know, keep women wanting more, don't give them too much, like be nice and then disappear, and then, you know, keep them wanting more. And I think like you can only try that with people who don't know themselves, because me, I will cuss you out eventually. So yeah. So when I heard that round the corner, I thought, what the hell? And so that ended like, 2011 or something, beginning of 2011. And it was in 2013 that then, you know, I was then in a dynamic that was just like, oh, this is cute. And then was just there, innit? So I don't know, that corner can seem long. And then essentially they could be like, that wasn't even the corner. That wasn't even the person that we're talking about. So time just doesn't make sense. Time doesn't make sense. Time doesn't exist. But in saying that, I feel like once Saturn is done in Pisces in your 7th house, there is a chance. And I also think that maybe for you, it's about you meet someone through travels, or they are from a different place to you and they're visiting here, or you meet them through work and traveling, is the vibe that I'm getting just by looking at your chart. So I'm just going to switch cameras so I can get to the cards. And in the first card we've got for you here, just move my microphone. The first card that came out, obviously because you're a Virgo rising, we've got the Hermit card, and the Hermit card is a Virgo card. Why do we have that? And it's funny that it comes out and it's number 9, and we were looking at your sun in the 9th house. What else? Oh, they're all just flying out. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. We've got 6 of Cups, and then we've got Ace of Wands in reverse, and we've got the 5 of Wands in reverse as well. Let me move this out the way. the vibe I'm getting is to just stop trying so hard. I know that this is frustrating for you, but you've just got to stop trying so hard. Like, I don't know if you're a generator. I don't know what your human design type is, but I know that us as generators, if we try to force something to happen, it repels the thing even more. So if you want something, you know what you want, do the exact opposite. Like, go and focus on something else. Like, go and take up a hobby, take up a sport, just go and do something else. Because the more you try and focus on that thing, you push it further away. So the Hermit card is really telling you to go within. Like, you're writing the email going, well, it's just love not for me in this lifetime. Now, baby girl, you know that's bullshit. You know that's bullshit. You know that, like, you know, you can feel it. If anything, why you're so frustrated is because you can feel the frequency, you can feel the energy of the love. And so therefore, it's just like, to you, it's just like, but why is it not physically manifesting? Because I can feel it. I can feel that there is somebody that I am meant to be with. I can feel it. But then you're interacting with these people and then it's not quite that. You know what I would suggest? I suggest writing a list. I think that would help you. I suggest writing a list of the kind of person that you actually want. Because do you even know do you know what qualities, what characters you want in this, in a person? Because I feel like when you write it down, it's so much easier for you to see if somebody isn't quite aligning with that, and it makes it easier for you to keep moving. Because the Six of Cups here talks about some kind of reconciliation, but it also talks about soulmates and past lives. The Six of Cups energy, you see like two children, like in terms of like memories and things. And Ace of Wands in reverse, yeah, you feel like giving up and you're vexed because the ancestors pick that up, like you're vexed because we've got the Five of Wands in reverse here, and they're like, stop beefing us, like stop trying to like move aggy with us, like there's no more work for you to do. Just be clear on what it is that you feel like you're calling forward. And it's all right, because me, baby girl, I feel you. I throw tantrums with the ancestors all the time. I get rude. Not disrespectful per se, but I just get a bit cheeky because I'm just like, well, what's going on? Because you said that this was going to happen and it's not really happening. And then I have to understand that everything happens as it should. And I ultimately think that this is what you're being told here. So in answer to your first question, and even imagine that, do you have permission to give up? Like, girl, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know that in the grand scheme of things, you're not giving up on love because you are love. So you can't give up on something that you are, right? But I understand that with the dating pool as it is, like, my stomach's rumbling, sorry. With the dating pool, the way that it is, with like patriarchy, the way that it is, I know that it can be so disheartening if you have been afflicted with the reality of only fancying men. That can be horrible in this patriarchal society. But at the same time, I ran into somebody today who he was out with a woman he's dating, and I was so happy for them. Like, because you just know, you just like, you know what? There are actually like, you know, for all the jokes that I make on the podcast, there are actually wonderful, wonderful, wonderful men out there who are doing the work of unlearning the fuckery in this society. Like, they're doing the work and it's not easy. I'm not talking about the ones pretending to do the work just so they can get pussy. I'm talking about the ones who are genuinely doing it because they just want to show up more for life. Like, they want to experience what life has to offer. Like, I pray that one of those people finds you. And I do feel like, I know that you feel like you've gotten reading after reading saying it, but you've also got to understand that with you having the Neptunian 7th house, it takes time. Yep, you've got 7 of coins that comes out here, 7 of pentacles that comes out, which is you know, encouraging you to have patience, like, I can't tell you when it's going to be. Actually, I think I can. There are some signifiers in somebody's chart when you can see certain things when things change. King of Wands comes out here as well. They say be patient. They're likely a fire sign. Or even if they're not a fire sign, but I think they will be a fire sign because of your Aries placements. But yeah, they're just asking you to be patient, baby girl. Don't give up. Don't ever do that. Don't give up. Because there's a lid for every pot. There is. There are over 7 billion people in the world. Like, be fucking for real. Just because a lot of the men in Britain are raggedy shouldn't have you believing, I think you're in Britain from how you wrote the message, shouldn't have you believing that that is the case in the rest of the world. I know that patriarchy is a global problem, but what I'm saying to you is that there are 7 billion people in this world. Please don't just think that means that you're done out, because you're not. Because all it's saying here for you is to just be patient. And what else did you ask? Let me make sure I've covered everything. So I've covered your first question. If it is, why so many failures? What am I not learning? Okay, so what are you not learning? Baby girl's higher self. Our anonymous baby girl. What's up? They were like, glad you asked. Oh, okay. I'm going to take all the cards, because I feel like all the cards are relevant. All right, because they just jumped out of the deck. So the first card is like, what you're not learning is 4 of Pentacles. You're holding on too tightly to what your idea of safety, what your idea of stability is in a relationship. And I understand, especially if you've experienced like domestic violence and things like that, and you've experienced a lot of trauma as a result of relationships, you will hold on to certain things. And then now I'm seeing the Emperor in reverse. The Emperor represents the sign of Aries. I'm seeing the Emperor in reverse, and I'm looking at the number 4. The Emperor is also number 4. As above, so below is what's coming to me, but we're not looking at the Magician card for now. But what I get here is that it's going to sound so random, but I'm going to tell you what I'm hearing. There is a forgiveness that there is a forgiveness that you haven't forgiven a father figure. It feels like you haven't forgiven your father for something, right? Or there is a thing that you're holding on to for not having your father be the kind of father that you wanted, or wasn't showing up for you in the way that you wanted. So because of that, you hold on so tightly to not letting people in, and you choose people who are likely refracted versions of your father. And this applies to men as well, because people think that it's only women, quote unquote, that have these quote unquote daddy issues, right? But men have a lot of daddy issues, if we're going to say that. You've always wanted your dad's approval. You've always wanted to be validated by your father. Your father didn't give you the approval that you wanted, and he wasn't very kind to your mother. He wasn't actually very present as he should have been in the family dynamic, right? So then what happens is that then you start choosing people to date who will deny you validation, or there'll be aspects of them that remind you of your father. Maybe he was a very good businessman, so you're drawn to women or people who are really who work towards being established in whatever career that they're in. And then you play out the resentment that you were too scared to play out towards your father. You play it out with the women, and then you deny them, you withhold yourself from them in order to punish them in a way that you were too scared to punish your father. All right. And then we've got the 10 of Swords here in reverse, which speaks to the idea that because of this, you're very scared of betrayal. You're very scared of painful endings. And so you don't step into your power as the Empress, because we've got the Empress card that comes out here, number 3. You don't step into your you spend so much time thinking about what you don't have to keep them, that you don't think about what you do have that they're not worthy of. Right. And then we've got the King of Pentacles that comes out as well. So I feel like you're the Empress, and then you're going for kings. Like, you're going for people who aren't necessarily equally yoked to you. And sometimes they have money, but I feel like they're maybe a bit stingy as well. I don't know. And then we've got the Justice card in reverse here, Libra card. When I see the Justice card in reverse, it's like you already know from the beginning that there isn't a balance. Maybe sometimes you know a lot more than they do, or you something. There's always an imbalance. Maybe they have a bit more money, and so they try to control you with the money that they have, or they don't have money and then you're treating them like projects that you're trying to fix. Remember, we're not dating projects. We want to date people, right? You can't keep choosing renovation projects or charity causes like, oh, they're this way now, but I can fix them. It's like having broken wing syndrome. You see this bird with a broken wing, you're like, oh, I'm going to fix them. And it's like, you need to stop being a sanctuary or a rehabilitation center for men who don't actually want to do better. They don't want to do better. Wow, that felt like a drag. Sorry. I feel like all of us got told. Hold on. I feel like those are all the cards, but yeah, I do see here. Sorry, I was going to say those are all the cards. I do see 9 of Pentacles. So there is a very extremely, so many cards fell out for you. Fucking hell. There is an extremely slow moving energy towards you. Again, Pentacles. So they'll have like, I feel like they'll have strong earth sign placements or be a fire sign. So Knight of Pentacles, so earth sign, well, yeah. And I see 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So it's saying that, girl, stop it. You're not going to be single forever. Doing up all the limit, independent, throw your hands up at me. So yeah, Spirit's just telling you to like, stop whiling out. Your message is very simple. Stop whiling out. You'll be all right. And you said not to give you a time. So I'm not going to give you a time frame. I'm just saying to you, you'll be fine. Time is a construct, but that frequency, that energy that you keep feeling, stay in that frequency, because like finds like. Yeah, like finds like. You think about writing that list. Like I said, be practical. Since you love being a Virgo rising so much, since you know every fucking thing, since you got your degrees, write a list of the characteristics that you are looking for in a person. Then write a list about the kind of person you want to be in your best timeline, in the optimal timeline. Write a list of how you would like to show up in relationships, because sometimes we get bogged down with who the other person should be, but in response to that, who are you going to be for this person, right? It's a two-way street. Well, there are multiple streets because it's multi-dimensions. Sorry, going into another universe. But the point is, who do you want to be? How do you want to see yourself showing up in relationships? And write that list as well and compare them. Like, what can you be doing in your life that puts you, in the optimal frequency to meet this kind of energy that you're calling towards you? So I pray that resonates, because I was really talking for a while. And just saying things because, I just be talking, but I pray that resonates with you. Now we can actually go to share your magnificence. So, and for those who want readings, you know what to do. You can go on my website, KelechiOkafor.com, and you can buy a 1-question email tarot reading, or you can buy a gift card. And that gift card, once you've bought it for yourself or for a loved one, only if they're interested, don't buy it for people if they're not, email my PA at KelechiOkafor.com, and she will book you in a date in my diary for me to do the reading for you. I think that's just the simplest option, and it's going really well so far. I keep seeing like all of the things popping up in my calendar for people I'm yet to read for, and I'm really, really excited that this is so popular with you all, that you've been buying these gift cards. I know you've wanted them for a while. I didn't see how it was going to work out, and now it's working. So I'm really, really glad that you're also enthusiastic about purchasing those, as well as the 1-question tarot readings. I love doing that for you. So yeah, into magnificence. I just wanted to say rest in peace to Andre Brower, who was Captain Holt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I used to enjoy watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And more so, I mentioned him a few weeks ago when I was talking about City of Angels, how I went back to rewatch City of Angels and how great it was. And yeah, he passed away at the age of, I believe, was it 65, which is super sad. None of us know how long we have, so like, let's get our shit together. He's such a wonderful actor. So he just seemed like the greatest of vibes, and I love that he was in City of Angels, which is like one of my favorite films. So yeah. What else? Okay, well, let's get to, well, 2 slaps on your chest, 2 heavenly slaps on your chest. Like, have the best time in the ancestral realm. They'll love your acting chops. Okay, so for So You Mad, Prince Harry was awarded £140,600 because for the phone hacking scandal with the Mirror, the newspaper that he's been tussling with in the courts for a while now. What was his name? That guy that with his shirt collar that's too tight. Piers Morgan was one of the main editors there at the time who was in charge. And that just doesn't look great for him. It looks extremely raggedy, but then again, he is a raggedy individual. So all of it seems to make sense. It says here, Prince Harry awarded £140,600 as High Court finds extensive phone hacking from the Mirror Group. Wild. Prince Harry says it's a great day for truth after winning a landmark phone hacking case against the publisher of the Daily Mirror. The High Court ruled to award £140,600 in damages to the Duke of Sussex after a trial found his mobile was hacked by Mirror Group newspapers, MGN, journalists between 2006 to 2011. Mr. Justice Fancourt stated that the media group, which includes the Daily and Sunday Mirror and Sunday People, had been involved in extensive phone hacking techniques on a widespread and habitual basis. The judge ruled Prince Harry's phone was hacked only to a modest extent by the publisher, and that this was probably carefully controlled by certain people at each newspaper. He added, there can be no doubt that editors knew about the hacking and other illegal information gathering. And that's very true, because that means that then Piers Morgan, you knew, you raggedy bitch, when you were lying, you knew. Okay. Former editor Piers Morgan denied knowing about the practice in a statement, hitting back at the decision and said, I had then and still have zero knowledge of how that particular story was gathered. Shut up. I also want to reiterate, as I've consistently said for many years now, I've never hacked a phone or told anyone else to, and nobody has provided any actual evidence to prove that I did. Girl, shut up. Mr. Morgan also accused the prince of exploiting his own family. This is a guy who has repeatedly trashed his family in public for hundreds of millions of dollars, even as 2 of its most senior and respected members were dying, his grandparents. Look, they were on their way down. They were on their way on that escalator down. What Harry had to say or didn't say had nothing to do with the fact that Lucy Liu was calling them to come and join him in a very hot room. Okay? Anyway, it's hard to imagine, frankly, more appalling behavior than that. No, hacking the phone of a dead girl seems more appalling than that. But go off. Piers Morgan alleged that Prince Harry wouldn't know the truth if it slapped him around his California tan face. Oh, so you're jealous that he has a tan and your face is just lagging and slacking all of the time. It's a shame. While the Duke called it a great day for truth following the High Court decision, the Duke of Sussex's lawyer, David Sherborne, said the ruling makes it clear editors such as Piers Morgan, Mirror Group directors and their legal team clearly knew about phone hacking. The judgment lists a number of times when Mr. Morgan was said to be aware of phone hacking and that evidence had not been contested. The judge also said he found the evidence surrounding Mr. Morgan's involvement to be credible and nothing produced by the Mirror Group contradicted it. In a statement read out on his behalf, Harry said, today is a great day for truth as well as accountability. This case is not just about hacking, it's about a systemic practice of unlawful and appalling behaviour, followed by cover-ups and destruction of evidence, the shocking scale of which can only be revealed through these proceedings, the statement added. Outside court, Prince Harry's lawyers called for authorities to launch a criminal investigation into the publisher and those who may have broken the law. The spokesperson for the Metropolitan Police said, "We will carefully consider the civil judgment handed down today at the High Court. There is no ongoing investigation." Former Labour spokesperson Alistair Campbell was also targeted in Mr. Morgan's statement and was described as an old foe with an axe to grind and a proven liar. Mr. Campbell responded to the comments in a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, by saying, "Piers Morgan seems to have forgotten about the several inquiries, including with evidence given on oath, which cleared me of lying or any other wrongdoing in relation to Iraq." Mr. Justice Fancourt said illegal activity should have been investigated properly by MGN editors, but it never was and was instead concealed from the board, Parliament, the public, and the Leveson inquiry. Following the ruling, an MGN spokesperson said, "We welcome today's judgment that gives the business the necessary clarity to move forward from events that took place many years ago." So basically they're like, yeah, we'll pay the £140,000 fine. Let's just move on now. Like, girl, yeah, we did it. Get the fuck over it. That's what I'm getting from that. Where historical wrongdoing took place, we apologise unreservedly and have taken full responsibility and paid appropriate compensation. The judge also ruled MGN had even been involved in phone hacking to some extent during the Leveson inquiry into media standards. Actor Michael Turner, known professionally as Michael Lavelle, was awarded a total of £31,650 in damages after also bringing a phone hacking claim against MGN. However, actress Nikki Sanderson and comedian Paul Whitehouse's ex-wife Fiona Whiteman had their similar cases dismissed on the basis that they were made too late. Oh, sorry, Babs. Prince Harry's claim was that MGN journalists were linked to methods including phone hacking, so-called blagging, or gaining information by deception and use of private investigators for unlawful activities. Harry, 39, became the first senior British royal to give evidence in 130 years when he became involved in 5 cases at the High Court. Wow, let me just read that again. Harry, 39, became the first senior British royal to give evidence in 130 years. You know who should see a court within that hasn't seen a court in them 130 years? Prince Andrew, the grand old Duke of Nonce. He should also smell that courtroom. After Friday's win at the High Court, the Duke has 4 remaining cases against the publishers of the Daily Mail, the Mail on Sunday, the Sun, and the News of the World, as well as the Home Office. He's coming for everybody. He said, when we were talking about rob this England, we were just talking as black people, but Harry is truly going to rob this England. The cases cover alleged secret agreements between the royals and the press, cars being bugged with listening devices, and even the Duke of Sussex and his family's personal security in the Home Office case. Well, Godspeed, Harry, because, those are dangerous things that you are doing. But if it means that we can abolish the monarchy, because that's what I'm focused about, like take down the corrupt media conglomerates, I totally agree with you. But also you do know that what this means is that I also want the monarchy to be abolished. So I'm on your side, but also not on your side in certain regards. It's like I can talk to you as Harry, but not as Prince Harry. So I hope you understand that. I hope that's clear. What else did I see? I saw that Tesco, the supermarket, has recalled Christmas stuffing because it contains moths. And that is extremely scary to me. As somebody that's preparing for Christmas dinner, I mean, I make my stuffing from scratch anyway, but preparing for Christmas dinner, knowing that Tesco is out here, like at some point we're going to have to talk about how raggedy Tesco is. Like outside of the club card points, what is going on? Even with the club card points, the data that they're collecting is very odd. But yeah, moths are in the stuffing. And then before they were parading horse meat as beef. I don't want any parts. This is getting very, very weird. Very weird. And I saw another story, like the timeline we're talking about, like black men joining the Freemasons. And I mean, the main person that they were talking about in it, I don't really want to talk about them because I'm going to be a hypocrite. I kind of think they're cute. So I'll wait for them to kind of give me the information. But I do want to say that Black people, when you are part of secret societies, you have to focus on that secret part, the secret part. Putting out a post talking about the fact that you're part of a secret society isn't how secret societies work. But, you know, go off. Do you. Especially when those secret societies or fraternities have a lot of police officers as part of them. That's scary to me, that you would go and join, as a Black person, you would go and join these sorts of secret societies, knowing the sorts of people who are there. I know like there people say, oh, there are different factions of them, but it just makes me very, very nervous. Like, I feel like apart from this, and also included in this, Black people, like I said a couple of weeks ago, are being radicalized in ways that we would not imagine. And I feel like a lot of you dons are actually part of a lot of secret societies, especially after you get your OBs and MBEs and all of those things, and you become so caught up with what they're doing that you can't actually stand for the Black community in the way that you claim. And for me, I want to just be able to always stand 10 toes down. And at the same time, I just feel like we're losing the sense of having a Black community in Britain. Feels like it's disintegrating. I don't know. And this is why I'm glad to just be going to do things on my website, because I think that we'll find that as Pluto stations in Aquarius from next year, more people will be going away to do things in smaller groups. Like, they're going away to do stuff. I haven't watched that show that everyone's talking about, that's on Netflix, where there's like a moose in the main picture. I can't remember what it's called, but you'll remind me anyway. But yeah, I wrote here, Pluto in Aquarius, everyone splitting off into little groups for their own gain. Blackness will not bind us. Secret spaces will be what people kind of head towards. Blackness will know, like, I feel like in about 10 years, Blackness will not be enough to be like, oh, you're Black, I'm Black together. No, because people have very, very different agendas. So what else can we bond with that isn't about Blackness, is what you're going to find that's where people are moving towards. And what else did I see? I think it was cute. Michaela Cole, she hard launched her boo, Spencer, what's his name? Is it Spencer something? And I really found that very interesting for so many reasons. I love it for her. You know, I love it for her. But for you lot that had so much to say about me, woo, this is going to be an interesting time, isn't it? Because you'll actually find, especially from next year, that a lot of your mates, a lot of the people that you really kind of like rub shoulders with and zhuzh it up with in the industry, you'll find that they are actually with white men, and they've been keeping it from you, or you knew, but you felt like, well, let's make Kelechi our target because we don't like Kelechi. But when everybody's now getting married or doing an up engagement with their white boos, I want to see you come back to me to say anything. In fact, I want to see how you talk about these people that you greatly admire now that you see that they are with white men, because then that will let us see that the problem all the time wasn't about the partners, it was about me. And in which case, I want your names to be eradicated from the book of life. So yeah, everybody, love who you want to love. Do the work that you need to do. Let's take down whatever we need to take down. And if you don't want to take anything down and you just want to have a good soft life, you do that as well. Like, I don't care anymore. I genuinely don't care what you're all doing. I give up. I don't want to know. So for this week's poll, there was a video that was circulating around social media, or on social media, where there's a Black man on the tube. That's the subway for those of you who are not British. And he's smoking crack on the tube. Now, people have been writing, well, imagine you're breathing in secondhand smoke that's crack laced. Like, surely somebody should have intervened and done something. And other people were like, have you ever tried to fight a crackhead? Like, have you ever tried to fight somebody that smokes crack? And so I'd want to know, like, you're on the tube. Do you think it's gone too far? This idea of like bystanders just not intervening when they see things happening. What would you have done? Me personally, I'm not getting involved. I'm just going to get off as soon as possible, because one thing I don't want to be doing is breathing in crack. But literally since like 2020, I don't think I've gotten on public transport very much. I either drive most places now, or I'll get like an Uber or something. But I tend to avoid public transport. I mean, that's a privilege, of course, I know that. But yeah, for this very reason, I just don't know how I would react if somebody was just there in my train carriage smoking crack. So yeah, would love to know what you would have done about that. And you know, for my last So You Mad, I just wanted to send some love out to Cardi B, because she was on Instagram last week, really upset. Offset was celebrating his birthday, I think, and he had some, you know, women around him. They'd, you know, it was announced that they've broken up, all of those things. And I feel like she's really, really going through it. He's a Sagittarius sun. She's a Libra sun. She's got Scorpio Venus, Scorpio Mercury. So we're very similar, because I'm a Libra sun, Scorpio Venus, Scorpio Mercury. And it's what I was saying earlier about you can't, if what you're doing in this life when you're looking at relationships is that you're choosing people and you're thinking, oh, this is a fixer-upper, you know, there's so much goodness in them, but there's so much happening around them that I can help them with to get them to a point where they'll be better, and when they're better they can love me. Pack it up. Pack it up. Just pack it up. I won't even delve in any deeper, especially if you've got Scorpio placements like me and Cardi. Pack it up, right? Because you're wanting to outsource the work that you should be doing on yourself. Doing all of this work to get somebody into a state that they might never reach, actually, because you choose these people. We choose these people sometimes in our minds, knowing full well that they're not going to get to that actual point that you need them to get to, right? So you're choosing these people, wanting them to get to a space that they feel safe enough, that they feel, you know, kind of alive enough, well enough, that they can then love you, because then you want them to prove that you are worthy of being loved. So because you've all your life, what you've known, especially with a Scorpio moon, Scorpio Venus, definitely, you feel like all of your life you've had to work for the love of other people, and hoping that once they love you, then you'll be safe from whatever arduous experiences you've had from the rest of the world. But they can't actually provide you that. That is a you job. That's not to say that you shouldn't want romantic partnership, that you shouldn't want intimacy, that you shouldn't want all of them things, but it's just saying that what you are placing on those relationships, hoping to get out of them, isn't what they're able to provide, not with those people that you would likely choose anyway, because they're being cast in the story that you're telling yourself from your subconscious. Like, your subconscious is directing this show, this stage show. Your subconscious is directing it, and it's like, we're going to cast this person because it means that you can replay this dynamic over and over and over again and try to solve it, instead of like, let's stop trying to act out this play. Let's stop trying to act out this scene and move on. Let's recast. Let's start again. So I feel it for Cardi. And it's interesting because this astrologer, I was reading their page, and they were talking about Cardi's chart, and they were saying some people are born into peace. Others, like Cardi B, are born into chaos. This didn't crush her though. Instead, it helped her to learn how to dance literally in the flames. Gang, gang. In her birth chart, the predominant pattern of the planets is a cross filled with oppositions and squares. It then goes on to say, this means that she has always been pulled in polar opposite directions and drawn into extremes. And this is what I was telling you lot before I even ever read this about Libras the other week. Libras aren't necessarily about balance. They're about extremes. They find balance throughout the years, but to find balance, they oscillate between extremes. There have been dramatic and traumatic life events that certainly wounded her, but in the end, this also catapulted her to stardom because she learned her power and realized that she had to fight back in order to get what she wants. Yeah. With so many challenging planetary alignments within her, it reveals that she wants to experience everything and to truly understand the meaning of life. Her fire can take her there. In this regard, she's fascinating to us because we love to watch people rise up after they've been beaten down. This, I believe, gives us a form of hope that we too can do the same, even if we wouldn't walk around with golden nipples. But hey, whatever floats your boat. Leave her golden nipples alone. She's a baby girl. Relationships also have never been easy for Cardi B, and if they are, then she likely either lost interest or would cause some friction just for fun. Enter Offset. The two have been married for a while now, and despite their many on and off dramas and potential cheating scandals, the two seem to be happier than ever. But what is their astrological compatibility? As I mentioned before, with Cardi B being a Libra sun, she craves partnerships like she thirsts for air. She loves to have a partner in crime in order to validate some of the tumultuous emotions and thoughts that she experiences. Also, in a sense, they help to simmer down the fire within her and help her to balance her life out. Offset, who is a Sagittarius sun, is excellently matched for her because people born within this fire sign live for adventure, like the spice of the spontaneous, and aren't afraid of a bit of drama. In fact, all the zodiac signs, Sagittarians need that more than almost anything to keep themselves interested in a union without running off to do their own thing. Offset also has a Pisces moon, which wouldn't seem to initially be a match for Cardi, but his sensitivity helps to soothe her flames. Cardi's Venus and Mercury are in seething Scorpio, and her Mars is in Cancer. Meaning that they are all in water signs and blend well with his moon. One important thing to note about her birth chart is that her Venus is in the same place as Pluto. My moon is in the same place as Pluto. God. Which can show that she has experienced a very wounded past around love and relationships, but those dark experiences transformed her and ultimately led her to crave passion and intensity in union going forward. Offset's Pisces moon helps to heal this for her and help her to open up and trust. That's the thing. Pisces do have that power. Big up my brother Sadiq. While I could write a whole novel about experiencing this kind of connection, been there, done that, sigh, but at least I had some really hot sex, I also love that her Libra sun plays out so clearly in her engagement with fans online. Her fangirling out that Penn Badgley knows who she is, and her unabashed love for social events, her recent dancehall themed birthday bash with a celebrity packed list, including Lizzo, Snoop Dogg, Chance the Rapper, and more. How do I get invited to that kind of shindig in the future? Hit me up. That's what he wrote. Hold on. Imagine, I thought I'd started recording again. I was talking. My God, I was talking. I got to the end of the show and I hadn't pressed record, but I knew something was going to happen. I knew something was going to happen because it's Mercury retrograde. I knew that it was either I wouldn't have any sound or something. Something was bound to go on. And there you go. I recorded the second half of this, but didn't press record. No, I said all the, you know what I mean. I did the second part of this and didn't record it. Anyway, here we go. So he goes on to say, this is Kyle Thomas Astrology. He goes on to say, so what do the stars predict for Cardi B's future? Lots, actually. And while there's amazing stuff to look forward to, there are also some important things she's going to have to embrace. But hey, she's a warrior queen, so she'll handle this shit like a piece of cake. First off, her Saturn return is coming to an end. The Saturn return takes place roughly every 27 to 30 years and is often a time of reckoning. We often end up setting down roots, taking on some more responsibility and stepping more into adulthood. Cardi B is clearly doing those things. Now that she's past that, she will find she looks at herself in an entirely new way. Saturn is the planet of life lessons and challenges and will continue to make her feel like she's grinding extra hard in order to shoulder the responsibility of motherhood, especially until mid-2023. Keeping the sexy spark lit with Offset will also be a bit more difficult with the other duties they're both taking on. Then, from May 2025 until April 2028, Cardi will experience an event called a Saturn opposition. Yeah, that means I'm experiencing it too. For fuck's sake. I just clocked. Maybe that's why I had to read it again. Because if she's experiencing a Saturn opposition as a Libra sun, I am also a Libra sun. So that means that Saturn will also be opposing my thing. Of course, because Saturn's going into Aries. Right? Shit. Ah, fuck. Ha. Well. That's why I needed to that's why I needed to press record, because I needed to come to that realization. And that means Saturn will be in my first house, because I'm an Aries rising. Yeah. Then from May 2025 until April 2028, Cardi will experience an event called a Saturn opposition as this icy planet blocks out the light before her and makes her feel as if the world will be against her. Her most important relationships will be especially tested then, and she will need to prioritize self-care. Speaking of partnerships, she will experience eclipses representing destined shifts around this area of life in 2023 and 2024. Yet we're literally going through similar things, not like the same things, but the theme is similar. During these times, her relationship with Offset will be examined. This doesn't mean that they will break up, but if they aren't on solid ground, things will get rocky. The best part about this is if they get through this period, they could truly be together forever. To be honest, I'm not worried for Cardi B. Nothing can keep her down, and that's why we can't get enough of her. Girl, Cardi, holler at me. Sister, my sister in astrology, holler at me. Because I feel like I'm a little bit further ahead just because I'm 37 and I think that she's 31 or something. Holler at me, girl. I got you because I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But that Saturn opposition is very, very interesting to me. But I think because then Saturn's actually in my first house, I don't know, I get the sense that I'll mature greatly, but also step into some kind of role or power. But we'll see what that looks like, because don't let me become mayor of London. You lot will cry. You fucking idiots, you'll cry. But my real ones, my chargies, will be great. We'll have a great time. But I don't know what's ahead. We'll just have to see. So we might as well move on to Straw of the Week, aka Suck Your Mum. As I said previously before it cut out. This is interesting, isn't it? Mark Zuckerberg is reportedly building a massive £100 million compound in Hawaii, a colonizer, with an underground bunker and a blast-resistant door, and has an escape hatch. The 5,000 square foot underground bunker will be self-sufficient with its own energy, food, and water supply. Everyone was saying it's kind of like that show, isn't it? Again, I've forgotten the name of the show, but you lot were watching it and you said you didn't get what was happening. Leave the World Behind. That's the one. Yeah. And I feel like that is very indicative of where we are headed. You know, like when I was saying about the Freemasonry and like the secret societies and things like that, the have and the have-nots, the disparity will be very, it will grow even more, it will become even greater when Pluto enters into Aquarius. So over the next 20 years from January, things are going to be wild. And so you're going to want to go off in little groups, and communities and groups of people will govern themselves. But a lot of the rich are going to go underground. Did you see Beyonce's new place recently? She got there's this picture of her new home, and people were making jokes about the fact that like it didn't look like much on top, but that's because it goes down, like it's underground, right? So a lot of these people are clocking what is about to happen, especially because they have so much. People are suddenly going to the everyday people are going to turn around and be like, wait, why do you have so much and I have so little? And then it's all going to be popping off. And also because they know where they're headed within the military industrial complex, how many more wars they want to have, they'll protect themselves by going underground. And then it's the rest of us fuckers that are like on top of the ground. We're the ones that are fucked. They know all of this. So be aware. It says here, nobody working on this project is allowed to talk about what they're building. Almost anyone who passes compound security, from carpenters to electricians to painters to security guards, is bound by a strict non-disclosure agreement. My people, I want to meet my dons. Pay attention. Nothing is by chance. Yeah. Pay attention. See, I didn't say that the first time when I thought I was recording, but you know, now I remember to say it. So yeah, my straw of the week, I said, well, now I want to say that fuck Elon Musk as well, because he says here, DEI, as in diversity inclusion initiatives, must die. He said DEI must die. The point was to end discrimination, not to replace it with different discrimination. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are propaganda words for racism, sexism, and other isms. This is just as morally wrong as any other racism and sexism. Changing the target class doesn't make it right. Some of you are so fucking stupid. Elon is so and you see, you don't have to be smart to have a lot of money in this life. Can you see? Idiot. And this again, that's another point that I didn't make the first time. Can you see this drive towards fascism? It's not a joke. It's not a coincidence. One of you sent me a letter. Oh, Spirit, I see why you weren't letting me record the first time. I wasn't saying the things. I was cussing. but I wasn't saying the things. So one of you sent me a letter, a baby person sent me a letter that I wanted to bring up. You said here, dearest Kelechi, I hope this email finds you well and blessed. I wanted to reach out again to let you know that you've been a beacon of light during these challenging times. I'm intrigued by the recent trend where some individuals in the New Age spirituality community are embracing Christianity, renouncing practices like tarot, crystal, meditation, astrology, and even affirmations as demonic. I've stumbled upon discussions of renounced witches, interviews on Twitter/X, but I'm steering clear of fear-inducing clickbait. It feels like as a cultural thing, we take 3 steps forward only to find ourselves taking 7 steps back. Also, isn't it ironic that a lot of these practices originate from Africa, such as Kemetic yoga? This yoga was practiced 2,000 years before arriving in India, which many people associate yoga with. The African foundation to this practice can be seen inscripted in the walls of the pyramids throughout the world, and has the power to rejuvenate, heal, and restore your mind, body, and spirit to its natural frequency and resonate the balance of Mat-Ka, balance of life itself. Or even astrology and the 3 wise men. Early medieval written legends report that one of the 3 kings who paid homage to the Christ child in Bethlehem was from Africa. Also, it has been reported that the men were likely accomplished astrologers watching the stars for signs of a king's birth. Honestly, when you mentioned ending the podcast, I half expected a surprise announcement of a conversion to Christianity. Nonetheless, I am genuinely happy that you're prioritizing yourself. I've seen you advocate and defend people online who are very quiet when you are attacked. It's not fair, and you shouldn't be a martyr. You can count on my support for your new membership platform, and I'm looking forward to seeing you flourish in 2024. Thank you. So for clarity, I don't have to convert to Christianity because I didn't necessarily eschew or denounce Christianity. I keep saying, like, I'm not trying to force anything. Like, I'm just letting life lead me where life wants me to be, letting God lead me where God wants me to be. I don't try to ascribe to anything staunchly, because I feel like there are different things that I will change in various forms, if that makes sense. But the reason, thank you for sending that letter in, by the way. The reason I wanted to read it out is because, like I said, everything is connected. The shift, the push that people are making towards going back in their minds to Christianity is because of the rise of white supremacist ideologies. Like, even more so, like it's death rattle, it's death knell. The dying groans and moans of white supremacy is what we are now seeing. And so in its last attempt at power, its last power grab is to encourage everybody back towards Christianity. And so they can believe in teachings that make them, how do I explain it? There are certain ways that the Bible is currently interpreted that allows for the societal inequity that we are witnessing. Oh, don't worry, if you suffer now, you'll get your benefits in heaven. Rare. And people want power. People are tired of not having power. And the thing is, Christianity, the way that it's been purported within white supremacy, affords people power. So they're going to gravitate towards it. So for me, it's just like, I can see what's happening, especially the propaganda that's building with the Mormons on social media. You see these pretty women who seem to live on farms. They're very cute. And they're like, oh, these are all the meals that I make in a day. And they start showing you, one of them is even married to a model, or she's a model herself as well. And she'll post like, oh, I got hungry, so I quickly made this bread from scratch. And they're doing all of these things. And these young women are watching them. These young girls are watching them going, oh, that looks like an amazing life, not realizing that they're devout Mormons and there's something there that you're not realizing that's going on. I could talk about this stuff all day, but all I'm saying is, like, there is something afoot, and it's getting the girls, it's getting the girlies, and it's getting the boyos. But you just have to watch everything play out, I guess. But my straw was actually for McDonald's. So I don't know if you saw the viral video of this 2 security guards working. Apparently they're from a third-party security firm or whatever, working for McDonald's in Victoria. They were pouring water on this man's belongings, his sleeping bags, because clearly he's experiencing homelessness. and so they were pouring water with bleach in it on his sleeping bags, like just trying to like humiliate him and embarrass him. And the video went viral. Lots and lots of people were upset. McDonald's put out a statement that said, oh, that was a third party security firm that we're no longer working with, but you hired them knowing what they would do. So yeah, that was a third party firm, and we've apologized greatly, and now we've replaced the man's sleeping bag. You, a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, you just replaced his sleeping bag. That's what you did. Capitalism is a disease. My God. My God, where you could buy him a home like that. You could fix it like that. Somebody said to me, well, they're not a charity. Why should they do that? They are. McDonald's is an actual registered charity, so you could shut the fuck up. On top of that as well. They've got a charity sector, so you can shut up. But it's the way that we make poverty, homelessness, all of these things, even to to a definite degree, disability, we make them appear in society as moral failings of the individual, as opposed to systemic depravity, fashioned by our governments. We don't focus on that. It's not somebody's fault that they don't have a home to live in. That is the fault of the government. Like, it's not somebody's fault that they're poor or that they're experiencing poverty. It's the fault of the government. Like, what's not clicking? What are you not getting? And so for them to do the bare minimum by replacing the sleeping bag after you've humiliated somebody that didn't want to be homeless, like, what are you doing? And then Suella Braverman, that fucking cunt, where you're tearing tents away, moving people's tents. Like, have a heart. What is wrong with you lot? It's sad. It is so, so sad. My God. Like, this is the state of things. Like, McDonald's can do the bare minimum and be like, yeah, this is why everybody's boycotting you. On top of supporting genocide, this is why everyone's boycotting you. Ridiculous. So, and as for the security guards as well, like, when I see black people doing the bidding of white supremacy and then they lose their jobs, I'm like, that's what you deserve. That's what you deserve. Because I don't know why you feel like this proximity to power means that you are powerful. You are not. And you're being reminded of that. You are not. Now look at you looking stupid and ridiculous. On a final note, I need to get home, go and see my baby boy. I just wanted to, as a last straw, address something that happened on Twitter. Most people would not have seen it, but I reposted it or I retweeted it on the Say Your Mind Twitter page. In that, I've talked about this a few weeks ago and I'm talking about it again. I posted boycott Gale's Bakery because the owner was saying some very, very anti-Palestinian, genocide supporting bullshit. And so we're like, okay, boycott Gale's. This person, who I guess doesn't follow me, the tweet must have gone across their timeline. They don't know what else I've been doing, what videos I've been making, I guess, whatever, but they've already decided that they don't like me based on the people I can see that they follow on socials. And they said, oh, have you addressed twerking in Israel yet? People, a number of you responded and said, yes, she actually has. So what, multiple times even. So what's your problem? Oh, it's just that me and my Palestinian friends were asking because they didn't see it. Are your Palestinian friends in the room with us now? Because you're lying. Imagine, people are dying. People are being killed and you're using their names to kind of get a gotcha moment. That's what you're focused on. You sick fucking cunt. That's what you're focused on. And, I've already said this bit and then the camera didn't, the software wasn't recording it. And I even said the first time round that I'm glad I went to Brazilian jiu-jitsu before coming to record this today, because how I was going to say this was very, very different. And then I'm just not saying it that way. And I hope that grandmother ayahuasca will understand that some of you just make me experience hatred in my heart. I feel hatred in my heart towards you and I can't lie about it. And with Mercury being retrograde in Capricorn in my 10th house of career, I just think like, let's draw a line under this once and for all. You fucking pricks. This isn't, you don't have anything to stand on as it pertains to me. So you use the same two things over and over again. You twerked in Israel. You went to teach a workshop in Israel in 2017. You went to teach a twerk workshop. And also you were married to a white man. okay, what do you want me to do about that now? And if I wanted to, if I really, really wanted to, I'll marry another. What's your problem? Because you can't try to shame me to get me to try to control me because you feel like I'm so powerful and you don't like that I can just do what I want. You don't like it. And you don't like that so many other people support me in doing what I want. Because maybe like you've always had to work so hard for the validation of your parents or whatever the case may be. And that's fed into how you treat people in life. Maybe your parents shamed you. So the only way that you know how to operate in life is to try to shame other people. But I promise you, it does not work on me. It doesn't. I find you ridiculous. I find you embarrassing because people are even saying to you, like, outside of Twitter, do you actually know what Kelechi does? Oh no, she's a grifter. Here you go again, gaining content, trying to use this for content. May your name be erased eternally from the book of life. And I mean that, and I'm never taking it back. And all of you lot know that when I get into this zone and I start talking in this way and I start saying things over people's lives, it comes to pass. And as God is my witness and all the ancestors that are with me right now that know how much pain these sorts of things cause me, because you do these things because you actually do mean me harm. You hope that people will dogpile me. You hope that all of these things will happen while in real time GB News and all of them, man, are also coming for me. So where is my respite? And because you say that you do not want me to have rest, as it says in Psalm 35, the pit that you have dug for me, you must fall into it immediately. It is you that will fall into that pit that you dug for me. Because I don't do anything to you lot. I mind my business. I focus on talking about institutions, but you can't stop fucking talking about me and how, oh, she's not who she says she is. Based on you only following me on Twitter. So you don't see the videos I'm making on Instagram. You don't listen to the podcast where I've dedicated like over 270 fucking episodes talking about the systemic inequities that are happening all around the world. I could be talking about anything else because I see all the other people talking about other fucking trivial things and they're getting all of the coin. But I stay here dedicated to this thing. And then the small coins that I'll make from this thing, you lot will now say to me, oh, BetterHelp, they're on some bullshit. So I cancel them. Don't let them advertise on the show anymore. ExpressVPN, even though they were my biggest sponsor, they're on some bullshit, so I lock them off as well. Meanwhile, I'm still expected to then provide in the day-to-day for myself and my family, right? And on top of that, it's my money that I'm using. Apart from the crowdfund, it's my money whenever I get paid from doing talks that I use to build the children's home that I'm building in Nigeria. But you cunts can decide that because you don't like me, you don't care to engage with anything else that I'm doing because it would discombobulate, it would refract it would disturb the vision, the very, very minute, very narrow-minded idea that you have of me. You don't want anything to disrupt that. But you're looking ridiculous, and that's why I called you an idiot on the timeline. You're an idiot. Upon all the SOAS that you went to for university, you studied this, you studied that, nothing can educate that soulless void that happens to be the space within you. Nothing can educate you there. And we need to talk about how certain factions of the black community, based on wherever they are geographically on the continent of Africa, you have such internalized anti-blackness that you specifically direct towards dark-skinned, usually West African women, and nobody calls you out on it. You can just do this because you're allowed. It's getting very, very weird. It's getting weird. You'll talk about, oh, but didn't you go and twerk in Israel in 2017? Yes. I opened my first studio in 2016. January 2016, I wanted to go and teach a workshop in Manchester. The woman was so rude to me that I posted what she said to me. It went viral. Everyone was like, you should open your own space. I ended up then, that happened January 2016. January 2016. By August 2016, I'd opened my first studio because that's what I'm about. I get shit done. After opening it, after a year, I realized I needed to close it to open somewhere else, open somewhere bigger. People are asking for me to come and teach twerk workshops all over the place. So this girl asked me, oh, will you come and teach my studio, come and teach my people in Israel? I said, all right, cool, I'll come through. Oh, I'm also organizing a competition. Will you help me judge that? All right, cool, I'll come through. I needed to go. Like, in terms of, I went and I saw what my eyes saw my ears. I saw what I needed to see and I said, rah, okay, never again. But that was my journey, and I won't take my journey back. That was my journey. I'm sorry that you lot came out of your frowsy front mums and you knew everything from the fucking beginning. The whole point of this is that I say all the time that I'm a dickhead in recovery. I'm sharing with you the path that I'm following to unlearn and to unlearn fuckery and to learn the things that I need to know so I can be of service to this earth. But because you've decided that I'm some influencer bitch, that's this and that, that's what you want to focus on about your typing to me. Oh, here you go, wanting to make content. You jumped into my mentions. Moving mad. And then when you met actual madness, you're now backtracking and blocking. What the fuck? I thought you were about it. Oh, and this is my issue with you. Everything about you is you resort to insults instead of, listening and learning. You think I'm going to learn from you, cunt? You were never about teaching because you didn't even do your research as to how much I've already learned, because you're only focused on your little Twitter page. You don't know this weird self-righteousness that some of you have, you're like, oh, well, I've been political from day and I've known this, and I'm well done. Clap for fucking you. Well done. But where we know that you're failing is that when other people are learning, you don't like it. You don't like it because you've crafted an identity out for yourself to be this person that knows it all. Nobody likes to know it all. And you're not inviting people in. If you were really about liberation, if you were really about ending genocide, if you were really about support for the Palestinians, you'd be like, rah, this woman keeps making video after video calling out the fuckery in Palestine, so she's clearly gone and learnt something. But that's not what you're doing. You and your vile cunts, your scavengers, right? You lot are turning around and going, oh, but what about, didn't you teach a twerk workshop in, did I go and twerk on Netanyahu? Or did I go and twerk for the IDF? I need to understand what it is that you lot are saying. Because you'll talk about this colonial settler, this occupation that's happening, as if the America that you go to constantly, that also isn't a settler state. That they didn't commit genocide and kill a large number of the indigenous people to that land. But you shift the goalposts when you need to. We're all learning. We're all trying to be less of a dickhead so we can be the best people that we can be for this planet, for the people who inhabit this planet. But you don't actually want people to learn because your little flimsy self-esteem has relied so long on I am the political girl and that's my bag. I hope that eyeshadow that you're wearing on your eyelids, I hope it falls inside your eye. Like just causing you constant discomfort. I have to just own the fact that I have to admit it. I hate you lot. I hate you. I do. Hatred is not a thing that I like to feel. I try to, as much as possible, if someone's making me feel some type of way or I feel some type of way about somebody, I try to distance myself, go and process those things. But I genuinely hate you lot because you don't want good for humanity. You fixated on me and I don't understand why. Well, I do, because I'm a fucking big deal. Like, let's be real, right? Like, who else can solo hold down a show and talk for however length of time and the people them are listening? That's how I've been blessed. We all have our different blessings. Lean in on your blessing, whatever it is, your degree that you studied politics or whatever, lean in on that. But don't try and lean on my blessing because you're going to fall down and you're going to break something. Don't do that. I'm out here trying to provide for my son, trying to do this, trying to do that. GB News is calling me the new face of anti-white racism, this, that, and the other. I'm being attacked from all sides and I just don't know what the fuck some of you lot want from me. And you're lucky that I'm not the kind of person that you think that I am, because there are certain things that I could say and there are certain ways that I can move that you don't even realize. There's so many things that I know, that I experience, that people have done to me, that I don't come on this podcast and start blasting people. Like, you don't understand how much grace I show in real time because I have to stay away from whichever PR some of you think that you have of me. Fuck you. Fuck you for an eternity, and whatever ill will you wish upon me, whether you're on a burner or otherwise, right? I wish it upon you and your household 1,000-fold. I do, and I'm not taking it back. And I know that grandmother ayahuasca, all the ancestors, spirit will understand why I'm saying this, because it's so unfair. It's so unfair and it's so tiring. Get a fucking job. I'm a grifter. Your mother is the grifter because she took one janky egg and your father's discombobulated, godforsaken sperm, and they created you. You were the contribution that they can make to humanity. You fucking mean-spirited cunts. You. Like, it's disgusting to try to use genocide as your little haha, but didn't you do this? Yes, I did. Now get the fuck over it. Move on. And if you don't want to move on, stay in the time warp that you're in, but leave me the fuck out of it. I just want to continue learning and growing and being better than I once was. That's it. I don't want to know what you have to say. I don't care. Because my issue with you lot is not that your information is inaccurate. It is incomplete. Kelechi's obnoxious. Yes, and? Kelechi's a bitch. Yes, and? Finish the fucking statement. I'm fed up. I'm fed up. And I don't want to know anymore. The next time any of you ask, oh, but didn't you? I'll say no. No, have you apologized for going to Israel? I'll say no. I'll say no, because at this point, you don't care whether I have apologized or whether I have addressed it or otherwise. You don't care. You actually just don't care, because you've already got an image of you in my, or an image of me in your mind, that she's this influencer. So all she cares about is attention. Fam, I could stand still and say nothing and I'd still get attention. Why? Because I'm that fucking bitch. I'm that guy. I'm that Ross Clark guy. And that's nothing's going to change it. Nothing's going to change it, because when I stepped upon this earth, they already said, the ancestors been said, or the Orishas been said, that this was my destiny, and there's no fucking idiot that's going to get in my way. I will continue to grow, and I will continue to be the best person that I can be for all of the people on this earth in whatever capacity I can be that. And there is no stupid motherfucker that's going to stop me on my path because they don't like me. Oh, I don't like her. Fuck you. Fuck you. I don't care. I don't care. Just stop talking to me. If you don't like me, just pretend I don't exist. I know it's going to be extremely hard, but just pretend. Because while you're so sure that I'm so disingenuous, you're following some of the most disingenuous motherfuckers on the planet. I just had a quick scroll through the people that you follow, and I was laughing to myself. People who are telling you lot on the timeline, oh, thank you for correcting me about not joining that particular, initiative or whatever. Meanwhile, they're crying behind the scenes, telling my people them to still give them the money. They still want the money behind the scenes, but they're talking to you lot on the timeline that they don't want the money. Then you've got that idiot, that ugly bitch, that he'll be hiding behind his gay identity while he's there being horrible to dark-skinned black women. Black women who were supporting him when he was going through his own things. These are the kind of people that you follow, the Ash Sakars, the this, the that, who don't like opinionated black women. They don't. They get very, very nervous. They get very, very jumpy. But you lot will do your whole self-righteous thing that we're just so political and we know everything. But those who really know that they know nothing. And those who think they know, they're the ones that know nothing. And I've accepted that I don't know anything. And I'm a student of this life, and I'm a child of this universe, and I'm just going to continue doing what I need to do. But you stay there with your nasty, nasty, vile, just disgusting souls. Do you even have one? I don't know. But I say all of that, and then I've still got to come back to the fact that some way, somehow, whatever truth you need to see about me, you'll see it eventually. But when you see it, don't talk to me. Stay far away from me. I don't want to know. I give up. I don't want to know. Stop talking to me. You'll be tweeting me wreck. And then the moment I give you the energy back, it's but aren't you a public figure? Why are you responding? Fuck you. Because I'm a public figure, I'm not a human being. Some of you, I keep stressing this, some of you treat me like I'm not a human being, like I don't have feelings. You don't know what kind of day I'm having. And on top of that, you were tweeting your bullshit at me, you fucking cunt, on the remembrance day of my dad's passing. So I want to just spend a day like, rah, man like Michael, big up yourself. But I've got to deal with your bullshit on the timeline as you're pretending that you're actually about anything. And this is what I'm saying, like, for the joy that you try to steal from me 1,000-fold, I want that joy extracted from every facet of your life. I want it. And my ancestors are going to give it to me. I want it. Every piece of joy that you are likely to experience in the next 5 years, cancel it. That's what I want them to do. Cancel it. And so it will be. Because you keep playing with the wrong fucking one. other people are out there. We're seeing videos after videos. It's horrendous. Videos after videos of babies being killed, people being killed left, right and center. And I'm like, guys, we need to switch on. We need to do things like, we're raising money for this, like give to this appeal, do this, do that. But what you want to bring up is, oh, but didn't you? Fuck you. Honestly, fuck all of you lot. Fuck you. May it never be well with you and your household. May it never, ever be well with you. Ever. Miserable pricks. Anyway, I just need to get that off my chest because I knew that I wasn't going to rest until I said it. It's just infuriating. I'm so fucking fed up of it. Like, I just want to be able to enjoy my joyful moments, experience my joyful moments without constantly thinking, where's the next thing going to come from? And I'm meant to let all of this kind of like water off a duck's back. I'm meant to let it go. Nobody considers my emotional health and how much it takes to be abused, to be talk shit about online and, you know, within the media, whatever the case may be. And then in the day-to-day deal with people's interpersonal fuck shit, because you still have to encounter everyday humans in your life, in your personal life, who are also moving mad. And I've got to hold space for everything. I've got to hold space for everything. Let's be fucking for real. There's no flip side. I'm out.
It's the Benz Brunani womanist, baby boys, baby girls, you need to hear this. If you sit down, receive this realness. Make sure your cup's ready for the tea, we are go sip it, yo. Hard time scrolling for your long shorts. You might learn something you never know. Kelechi fine, and she's one of a kind. Don't say you're mine, say you're mine.